All right. Now can you hear me? Okay. Now you can hear me, right? I don't know. All right. I really apologize. Um, yeah, we got rid of the headphones. I don't know what the deal is. Hey, Reloader 762. There you are. Okay, so I apologize. We're off and running. For this live stream, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how you can take the Lee at APP press. That's the automatic processing press, and use it for just typical reloading. Okay. So I'm going to say something about this press here. Okay. Um, I'm going to say uh, I'm looking at all the comments. I'm going to say that I think this is my opinion. Some reloaders might want to try precision reloading on this. I know I'm going to, without a doubt, um, because it's set up on it doesn't have a frame. It doesn't have an O frame or a C frame. It's just set up on a coaxis, perfectly straight up and down, um, just like the Forester. It's just like that. And it doesn't take a lot of oomph to reload. Okay, it really doesn't, especially when we're talking sizing back just a few thousandths. But it's not like we're, um, you know, reforming cartridge cases here. Okay, we're not doing that. I'm going to say that this would be something that most precision reloaders just might want to try. It's going to light the world on fire right here. And it wouldn't hurt because of the other benefits that it has. So right now I have one whole jug of brass getting ready to dry over there. As soon as I'm done, I'm going to turn my food dehydrator on and it will be drying. I was able to do um, this entire one of these entire things of brass in super short time. For those who haven't seen it run, I'll show you. I'll tell you what the features are of this, and then we will get to set it up for reloading. Okay. So my primary use for this machine would be for decapping, so I can wet tumble, but I want to be able to go fast. Okay, so this being my primary purpose. Okay, do you see that? That tells me that's a small pistol primer. It'll pick those out. This is the FW Arms decapper. Okay, so I've got a whole load of these cases in here with the small primer. So not only can I decap, there's a small primer. Man, how valuable is that, right? There's a small primer. Guys, I'm just getting these off of my indoor range, and it's great. There's nothing wrong with having 45 auto cartridge cases that have the small primer. The problem is that we have to segregate them so they don't get in the way of our progressive machines. Think about it, guys. I don't buy primers with small, or I don't buy 45 auto cases with small primers. Okay, these are free. They're free, and I'm getting like handfuls of these. So every time I go to the range, when I collect what's up on the floor and I get a few extra and come back, if I set those aside, I'm going to have a bunch of 45 auto cases with small pistol primers. I never paid for those. So now guess what? In 2 days, Miss Highboy and I have scored on 1,200 small pistol primers. So if I run out of large pistol primers, I'm still running on my 45 ACP platform just with small pistol primers. So the one advantage this has with this FW Arms decap pin, I'll put a link in the description box below. It will help you to figure out which are small primers, which are large, okay? And it'll bust them out of there, okay? There's another one. So look at that. It's just going to help me to segregate all these out of there. There's another one, okay? I can go ahead and bust the primer out and set it aside. Okay, so the main purpose that I bought this for was so I could decap my cartridge cases, so now I can wet tumble. Okay, and I can decap them fast. One advantage I find is this lets me know when my 45 ACPs has small primers. Huge benefit, okay? This will also do a variety of other things, okay? I can swage primer pockets with this. The other thing I bought this for is so I can size my bullets. And I'm going to be coming out with some really good bullet content. And I'm going to run this, and you're going to see this ran full speed ahead, just like you saw me run this. So this has a lot of benefits that, in my opinion, every reloader, if I would not be without this now. No way. And I'm really contemplating picking up a second one. Now there's a built-in feature. Earlier this morning, by the way, I deleted my live stream from this morning. It wasn't a great live stream, but I said in that live stream that, you know, if this were baseball and we had home plate, first, second, and third, you know what this is like? This is like in between home plate and first. And then this is in between first and second. and then this is in between second and third, and then this is in between third and home. You're saying, well, what do you mean? Well, what I'm saying is this processes your brass in a way that in between of everything you're doing, it's very fast and it's helping you to process your brass. But you can also use it for first base, second base, third base, and home. What does that mean? You can reload with this, the whole process. But after working with this, I realized something. This is actually precision on the next level. This pressed very well over time. If enough reloaders utilize it for precision, this could be on the top of the heap for putting out precision ammo. And I'm going to show you, okay? And it just might help you, okay? So there's all my brass, 45 auto with small primers. I just took those out. That is really awesome, very helpful. So now I'm going to move that brass. And now we're going to take a look at this bad boy. We're going to get this set up for, I thought I was ready. I guess I'm not. We're going to load some 223 Remington. I'll be right back. I thought I had. Okay. Here we go. Okay. So these are once fired cartridge cases. So this is how this works. I'm going to kind of get you close up to here. As you see, this FW arms. Oh, I am going to show you guys this FW arms and how it works. I want to do that. If I don't show you this, I'm really not doing you a favor. After I've used a few decap dies on this, and now this is the only die I will use. Okay. So I'm going to loosen this breech lock. And I'm going to easily thread this out. Okay. I want to do something first. Okay, listen to one thing I'm going to tell you. When you're working, I'm going to move this tube so I don't damage it. When you're working with this Lee app, the first thing you're going to notice is it doesn't have a frame. Okay. I want to show you guys something. Let me grab something. I'm going to show you something. We're gonna learn something here. Let me grab something. Okay. Well, the first thing I'm not doing, I'm not trying to say any press is better than another. This is my Ponceness Metalmatic. It's, I forget, it's the P200 series. You're going to see that when I run the handle, it has no frame. It has two column supports, and then it has linkage. And the only thing this press knows is pure precision up and down. That's all it knows. I'm getting ready to do some videos on this. You're going to see them come out. This is what I loaded on for years and years and years, okay? And when guys say, oh, you can't really load precision handgun, in my mind, I just kind of like think, you have no idea. And I'm going to show you guys this in this live stream today. I'm going to show you. But the concept of these two columns in your mind, imagine there's no frame. Frames spring, they flex. There's nothing binding or flexing. So everything's natural and smooth. It's very precise. Okay? So now we come back to this. The first thing if you walked up to this and someone was going to say, tell me something about this feature. The first thing I would say is it doesn't have a frame. It's a bit skeletal. It has a couple of columns. It has a support, but everything glides with this, okay? Everything glides. Okay. So with that, the first thing you have to understand is when you are working here, don't crank on things because you don't have a lot of support. This is very strong this way and this way, but not this way. But it's not designed for strength this way. If it was designed for strength this way, then you would lose the features of what it has, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen this top piece here, but to do that, I'm going to have to come in here and make sure I support my die. Now, because I'm using 2 wrenches, I'm not putting any force, negative force on that press. Okay, so now I can remove this die. Okay. Okay. So now in looking at this die is very, very simple to use. It's just really hard to get apart. Okay, hang on, guys. I'm gonna grab a wrench here. There we go. All they had to do was break it over with the wrench. I'm going to point some features out about it, and then we're going to set this up. First off, we have a 2-sided decapper pin. Very massive, very heavy duty, okay? Then you're going to notice on this top cap, we have 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to be thinking of a vernier caliper, okay? I want you to notice we have these laser etched lines. Do you see those laser etched lines? You see those on the threads? Those are measurement lines. Okay, we'll be counting 2 of those when we're ready to adjust this. So this is how this works. We're going to place our decap rod, and I put it with the groove up. I don't know what it means by the other side not having a groove. I haven't learned it that far, but I do know that if you put this groove up, this side will let you know when you have a small primer hole in a large 45 auto casing. I learned that by accident. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to thread this in like that. And then I'm going to adjust that to where I have the correct amount of decap pin exposed. Okay, so here's kind of hang on. Here's kind of what we look like on this end. Actually, that's exactly what it looks like. There's my decap pin on that end. Now, this is the trick. Only hand tighten it for right now. Now what we're going to do, we're going to drop our handle. We're going to thread this into the breech lock die. And we're going to thread it all the way down. Okay. Now, once I touch the shell holder, I'm done. Now what we're going to do is, remember these 5 lines on that cap? We're going to pick one and we're going to adjust this cap 2 lines worth of torque. I'm going to get this up here really close where you can see it. This is only a $35 die, by the way. Okay, you see this line? We want to move this line here 1, 2 lines. Sorry to be talking in the microphone like that. So now I'm going to sneak my wrench in kind of this way. You guys are right in the way. I'm sorry. Well, here. Hang on, guys. Okay, watch. 2 turns, two lines. 1, 2. So now I've got that tight. I'm going to come in here and tighten the breech lock bushing. And now what I've done is I've adjusted this collet to where it will pop the primers out at about 7 pounds. But much more than that, it'll break away and I won't break it. Okay. Now, so far, I have not got this to break away at all. So now, what we'll do, I'm going to put this tube in, and I'm going to fill this case. And what I'll do is I'm just going to grab out of this bucket. And we're going to not only decap oh wait, these are already decapped. What am I doing? That's okay. I grabbed out of the wrong bucket. I guess we'll decap some that have been decapped. Okay, so there, I'm putting in dirty ones now that need to be decapped. So there's 2 things we're going to watch for now. One, we're going to decap these cases. We want to make sure that it flows. But we're going to see if this will catch any of these that have the small primer pockets. Okay. So I'm going to show you this now. Hang on. Now look at this. The small primer pockets are just biting me hard, okay? I have the Mighty Armory too. I had the Mighty Armory on the other night. I like this one better because this one I like it. I like it. I like this design. So here we go. Those first three were already decapped. Okay, there. That is a 45 auto casing with a small primer, and it caught it. That's why I like this die. Okay? If you say, why do you like this die? Because of that. There's another one right there. See? So if I can force it through, it'll force through, no problem. And there, look. It's catching all these cases that have the small primers. And what I like about this die is it will break away if you come into a burden prime case or something like that. Okay, so this is the simple decapper. Here, this is the simple decapper by FW Arms. It's only $35, and I would buy extra pins. I don't have extra. I need to get some. It works. It works good, and I like it. It's an easy setup, and it will fit this machine, no problem. Okay. So now this is the primary use, along with being able to size my bullets. But in here is something that some reloaders may never find. But now class is starting. Here we go. It's not that you can reload on this. It's that this is going to give you above average precision. This is going to be precision on steroids, okay? So now I'm going to leave my decapper just like that in the breech lock bushing. Just leave it. And now I got to do something. I got to get some more breech lock bushings out. So these are my 223 Remington dies, my Lee dies. Okay. Now I gotta tell you guys, I do not have my decap on this. I don't know where I put it. I don't know, and so I don't have my resize expander in there. But first off, we don't need the standard lock rings. Viejo says he's asking, hi boy, is it picking up the small primers just based on force? I guess I'm not understanding your question, Viejo. I'll wait for him to maybe re-ask that. No, that's a $35 die. Their other ones are a little bit more costly, but they're tanks. Hi boy, is it picking up the small primers just based on force? Oh, I think it did. You know what? That's a good question. Uh, they have different flash holes. So it catches on the flash hole. In other words, this won't bypass through the flash hole. It's enough that if you look, it extends through to punch the primer out, but it won't go through the hole. Okay. So that's why. That's how it does that. Okay. What I like about this, I'm sure other dies will work the same way, without a doubt. But what I like about this is the fact it will break away if it's just taking too much punishment. It'll just break away. But I haven't experienced that yet. Okay. So, and I probably pulled about, oh, I don't know, maybe 50 or 60 cases out that are small primers, and it's ran just fine. So there you go. Um, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to install, a good question, Walter. I'm glad you asked that. We're going to put this breech lock bushing in there just like that. Okay. And I want to make sure I have it all the way locked in with the handy little tool that comes with your APP. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my die started, and I'm going to run it down. Okay. Now, okay, there's something that is in this Lee APP that is also in like the Lee Classic cast and the Classic, the Lee Challenger press. On the Lee Classic and the Lee Challenger, um, you can't have cam over. Okay, the linkage on those presses won't allow you to set up for cam over. But that's got a pro to it. The pro is when we're setting a die like this resize die up for cam over, upon immediate contact of the shell holder, we no longer have play in our linkage. On a press that has cam over, if you're just setting your sizing die up for very minimal bump backs, you're still going to have play in your linkage, like play here. If you were to add up how much play you have here, how much play you have here, all of a sudden those thousands are stacking up. And so now your cases aren't sizing back all the same because you have all this play in the system. But because this press doesn't have cam over, immediately when we come down, we're going to absorb all of that. Okay. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to run it down just until I touch my shell holder. Okay. Just like that. And now, as you see, we're now using this as a standard reloading press. It'll run all the positions that we want. So now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab my L.E. Wilson case gauge. I'm going to put a case into here, and I'm going to measure it for its headspace. This case is 11 thousandths over a Sammy Min. Okay. I got to shake this up a little bit. So now I'm going to lube the neck, going to slightly lube the shoulder. And now I'm just going to leave all this for right now. I can kind of work around the moving parts. Oh, I forgot something. This Lee APP utilizes these unique to them slide through shell holders. You see that? That's how that works. Okay. There's special shell holders. Go all the way through. So I'm going to, and there's all the primers that I've caught earlier today. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove that shell holder. And in my kit for my 223 Remington, there's my shell holder for my 223 Remington. So now I'm going to come up here like this. And lock it in. Okay? So now, making sure I lube this case, I don't want to make sure I grab the case that was actually lubed. Now I can come here like this and, oh, you know what? That's not for 223 Remington. That's way too big. Nope, that's 223 Remington. I'm getting senile. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to come down here just like that. And once again, because this doesn't have cam over, there was no slack anywhere. So let me get a towel. I got to now attach me another towel right there. So now I'm going to wipe my towel off. I'm going to come here like this. That's now 9 thousandths. I just bumped that back 2 thousandths. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to turn that die a little more. I'm going to walk this case back exactly to where I want it. Seven thousandths. I just did a 4 thousandths bump. That would feed right back through my AR-15 or whatever AR-15 that came out of. Okay. So now we just keep adjusting this die down. Until we get the bump we want. Now, if I were you guys, that's 4 thousandths. I'll tell you where I would put this. I would try and put this somewhere around 1 thousandths above. 1 thousandths above. Then you can use that as a SAMI min, and that's going to feed through pretty much anything you put that through. I think most shooters would be pretty happy with that through the AR-15. Okay. I am so close to 0. Okay. That is factory. That's factory. Okay. So there's our case. We've sized our case back. Now, I have to burn this into your brains. The Reading competition shell holders, you don't need those on the Lee because the Lee doesn't have cam over. In other words, think about it. Because this doesn't have cam over, every time I'm going to bump back with this, I'm going to adjust the die down a little more and keep the same amount of pressure on the handle. If there's no play in the linkage and I'm coming down, I keep the same play on the handle. I just adjust the die down and I hold it for a brief moment, and all my cases are going to come out pretty close to the same, provided they're all same head stamp out of the same rifle and the same lot of cases. Okay, that's huge. Okay, so that's now what I'm going to do. I'm going to tighten this lock ring. There. I can put that right back into there for sizing my cases. It's set. And I just sized on a perfect coaxial. Think of I said last night, think of this as the barrel of your rifle. That center axis going all the way through. That press keeps that just perfect, okay? No, my shoulder bump is set to right about a Sammy Min. I could put it wherever I wanted, Yukon, but this is setting pretty close to a Sammy Min. It's actually, if you look at that, let's see if we can get it to focus in. Look, I'm like a thousandths over, a +1. Okay, this was a +11. I just brought it back 10 thousandths. If I wanted to, I could have sized this back like 4 thousandths. These didn't come out of my AR-15s. These are range cases, okay? Once I shoot these out of my rifles, then I can bump them back 4 thousandths, okay? So I want you guys to watch something, okay? Let's redo this. Let's redo this from a different standpoint, okay? I'm going to take another case. Let's say this came out of your AR-15 and you want to load precision. That's not a good case. Okay. Better example. This one is 11 thousandths. So we're going to say this came out of your AR-15. The book says all we need to bump back is 4 thousandths for an auto-loading rifle. The AR-15 is an auto-loading rifle. So we're going to bump this back 4 thousandths and no more. I'm going to raise that die, lower it. Now I'm going to Okay, I'm going to thread that die down just until I'm kissing that shell holder, no more. Now, you're only going to size back as good as you lube the case. Get your neck lube on there. The neck lube will not hurt the powder. Okay. That's all. You don't see me ripping it off the bench, right? Let me let you look at that. Let's focus it in. I just bumped it back 2 thousandths. We need it 7. You're going to turn that die like a 30 seconds of a thousandth. And you have to get the lube off so your readings are absolutely true. Okay, guys, watch. I said a 30 seconds. I just bumped it back almost 8 thousandths. A thousandth and a half more, and this would almost fit ideal into whatever AR-15 it came out of. Now watch. Watch my die. A 30 seconds in your mind, a 30 seconds of a turn. Relube. Now, I want you to watch. I want you to watch this. Watch my hands. I'm not doing this. Watch. Okay? Didn't take a lot. Don't kill your press. My boy, my boy. Oh. I just off adjusted it. Okay. There we go. Look. 7. Slightly under 7. Yes, this is the Wilson micrometer case gauge and micrometer. Okay. Now I want to show you guys this. This is the Wilson case gauge micrometer. This checks my 0. That's my 0. Okay. When you see me doing this 3 times, I'm getting a 3 average. Okay. So this verifies that I am 0. I'm 0. I'm so close to 0, it's not even funny. So then when I come into here, I'm checking my bump back. There's my 7. Okay. So what we can do with this press and the Lee dies, or whatever die, and the means of measuring our head's bump, we can bump it back wherever we want. But where this is going to be king over a single stage press is it doesn't have a frame that's going to have flex. Flex is what's going to cause your maybe I don't know, guys. I'm not the pro. It's just that this is more precise, like the Forester. Okay, so I'm not going to say things that I shouldn't, but you be the judge. Okay, so now we've got this set up for uh, our wherever we want our headspace, and then we can lock this in. Okay, lock it in on the breech lock die. Guess what? It's locked in. You want to clean it out. Keep her clean, okay? Now, here's the cool thing. Look how you can store them away. If you have these for every dice set, you can store them away. They'll all fit. They're not laying all over the bench, okay? So now what we do systematically is we go and set our dies up for an end result of boom. And when you seat that bullet is going to be seated. Okay, now think about it. Process it. How do we want the bullet to come out? Do we want it straight? Well, that wouldn't define it. That doesn't define it. You want that bullet to be as center to the center axis of your bore as possible. And this is moving on your center axis bore. And there's no frame flexing. And it's smooth and it's natural. So then, if you're going to crimp, you're going to come down and kiss it with the crimp, and you're done. And everything that comes off this is 100% per precision. It's just like that, okay? And pistol, 45 auto. I mean, okay. You guys, you asked for it. You want it? You want it? Let's do it. Come on. I can hear you asking for it. Let's rip it apart. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this shell holder out. I'm always about like learning and doing. What if I could show you how to, in your mind, figure out how to hit a pop can at 100 yards? You want to show you? I'll show you. You just had to ask, and I'll show you. It's very simple. Class now begins. I'm going to get all my breech locks unloosened here. And if you go to my home page on YouTube, you're going to see me hitting a pop can at 71 yards with a 3-inch revolver. How did I do that? Well, anybody can do it. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to put these up, and precision, we relate precision over to optics, because optics puts what we're looking at all on the same playing field, okay? But precision is actually something that we can build into anything we're doing. I think these are these are 45. We're going to do 1911. I could do 38 caliber. I could do whatever handgun. I could do 41 Magnum's, a very fun one for long distance. Shoots very flat. I like that. But there's nothing like taking a 1911 and sticking a steel plate out at 250 yards and going dong, and you're like, How do you do that? How do you take a 1911 and set a steel plate out at 250 yards and go dong, right? How do you do that? Okay. It just doesn't happen. I'm going to tell you the story. Let's turn it into a story. So I have my, we're going to load the whole cartridge. We're going to load powder and all. We're going to build a cartridge that is just going to amaze you. And you're going to do the same thing, regardless of what press you have. So, the first thing we need is 45 auto would be, it's the number 2. I know it's the number 2. I'm going to put a number 2 shell holder in. So we just saw how to size back for our bottleneck cartridge cases, but all the other dies past that are going to be pretty much the same as what we're doing here, except we're going to expand the mouth of the cartridge, okay? And so I have some 45 auto casings in here we can use. Make sure that will work. So the first thing I'm going to do, here's your first lesson. I get guys all the time and they say, how do you get your cartridge overall length to come in without going over? Look at that. You see that little line? Look at my little line. The first thing you got to understand is numbers never, you can't see that line. Let me do this. You can do this. Now you see the line? Let me show you how to make the line on your die. While I'm making the line, I'm going to explain this to you. How do you go north? To go north, you have to know, you have to have what? A point of reference. On your dies, you've got to give yourself, I need a screwdriver. On your die, you need a point of reference. When you have a micrometer style die, that's a point of reference. When we were adjusting the FW arms die down, these were points of references. So what we got to do is give ourselves a point of reference on our dies, okay? What the viewer sees is they see me turning this. What I see is this. So let me show you what this is. There's no magic to what I do, okay? Take a razor blade. Score your die. If you want to be fancy about it, you can make it look as pretty as you want. But it doesn't matter how ugly this is going to get you your bullseye. So now what I did is on this die, I put a mark, okay? Now that mark is a point of reference for you, okay? So on this die now, the first die I'm going to set up is going to be my resize. Now, because we're using the breech lock system, we can ditch these, which I've always liked these O-ring style lock rings. But I really like these. Well played out by Lee. So we're going to take this, we're going to run it down. And we're just going to barely touch that shell holder. Okay. Once I touch the shell holder, I just want to back it off a little bit. And then I'm going to snug this up. So now what I'm good to do is I can size and decap my cases. Are you with me? And we can do however many we want. Now, first thing, if you have a progressive press and you are shooting a lot of steel targets, I'm going to say this. Pardon me for saying this, but you probably shoot like shit. Strong words for a guy with a Bible study, but let's take you out and put you on paper, and I'll stand next to you on paper, and you probably shoot like shit. So now I want you to pay attention. If you're going to hit that pop can, you can't shoot like shit. And I'm just telling you this, okay? I've resized my case. And guys right now are going, that's slow, that's stupid, yeah? I'm going to make a round that's going to hit a pop can at 100 yards. I have to know my velocity, I have to know my bullet weight, and I have to know my drop. If I know those three and I know my sight holdover, I can hit a pop can. As long as I know my wind, a little bit of my wind. Our resize die is now set up. Okay. If I can get it out. Okay. Now, notice we can put that right back in there and we're ready to run. Okay. And when I'm talking this way, I'm not insulting anyone. I want you to think different. How can we reload and start hitting things that we normally wouldn't? It's okay to go ding, 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 ding. It looks great. But if you really look at where those bullets are hitting, my dad used to teach me something. He would say, Jim, aim small, hit small. He would say, if you're going to hit a target of a man, aim for the button on the shirt. Well, that meant hit the button on the shirt. That didn't mean hit his pocket. My dad would say, no, Jim, hit the button. That's what we're talking about. And once you get this load down, you can transfer that over to your progressive. Okay. Match ammo, precision ammo. Okay. Different than high volume. So now I'm going to take my my next die, and I'm going to take this powder through. We can ditch this. We don't need this. Awesome there, Walter. Thank you. Okay. So to expand this, you know, we can do this. We can measure, you know, however you want to do it, and expand by 11 thousandths or 13 thousandths, however you want. Okay. But just in a very quick way of doing this, and let me grab these bullets. Let's just use these bullets. These were the bullets that I was using this morning. Right there. Summit City. What I'm doing is I'm going to adjust that down until I get just enough expansion on the mouth of the case that that bullet will slip in there. Now, we can do it by measuring with the calipers, or we can do it. There's nothing wrong with fitting your bullet this way. It's kind of like you're an old cobbler, you know, and you're a shoemaker maybe, right? And you're fitting things. You're just fitting it together. And so what we're doing is we're threading down this die until we get the proper expansion. I'm almost there. Okay, I'm almost there. Almost there. I'm going to ask you guys a golden question in a moment. Here's my question. Why is it that I'm sitting here fitting this as opposed to measuring? Nothing wrong with measuring. The answer is, am I not making match grade ammo? So what I'm saying is, when I'm instructing measuring with your calipers, that gives the viewer a point of reference. But after you've been reloading for a while, if you really want to increase your accuracy, start hand fitting. That's why you want to match your cases to length. If they're all matched to length and then you just sat here and fit this, now you're going to have tighter fit. Now you're not expanding the mouth of the case as much, So now when we resize it next time and we come back to this, we're going to have the same amount of spring back on the mouth of that case. Okay. So all of this is critical. If you really want to do a good job, learn to um, do things in a way where you're really matching it up closely. Okay. Oh. Boom. Perfect. So now I know what you're saying. You're like, well, how about priming? You can prime on this. They've got it. But for me, I got a lot going on here already. So what we can do is we come over here, and I think if I grabbed a number 2, okay, on this auto bench prime, I love this thing. It has its own shell holders, and see, they're different. They're just bobbed, but I'm missing mine. Where would mine go? Dang it. I'm missing my number 2. I can't be missing my number 2. Guys and gals, that's the end of the 76 Highboy Reloading Guns and Ammo YouTube channel. It's been nice. And, look at that. 2 number 2s. Oh, I put it in the wrong box. Shame on me. Whew. I knew I had to have done that. That's not the first time. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to take this number 2. We're going to put it into our auto bench prime. I love this thing. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to grab some small pistol or some large pistol primers. I'm not going to do what I did today, where I, tried to use small pistol primers in the way of large pistol. That was, pretty funny. And then we're going to prime this bad boy. Woo-hoo-hoo. Oh my goodness. That nice. Does a good job. I love it. Okay. So now we're going to charge it. And this is a 0.7. That 0.7 right there is a little stiff for what we're doing. Okay. All right. Who wants to see the dippers used in correct form? I'm not going to move till I get yeses or nos. Let me repeat this. Who wants to see me show you how to select the right one and use it the right way? Yeah, I admit that I do. Squatch. Bravo Delta, yes, yes. Well, you come to the right place. Let me teach you. Okay. Well, there we go. Should have asked. I don't know how to reload, but you'll never forget this. All right. In the back of your Lee reload manual, I have the second edition. This was the greatest. Did you know what I'm about to show you is a survivalist cookbook? Oh, yeah. I wouldn't lie. Page 674, volume measure density. I'm using 700X, 0.1343. Unique is 0.1094. What does that mean? Okay. 700X. I'm going to show you this. I'm trying to gather my mind to explain this to you so you understand it. A volume measure density. What that is the size of a kernel or a flake of powder. How many kernels of powder or flakes of powder does it take to equal a grain? Now we're measuring down to fly crap. The size of the grain. I'm working with 700X. If I go to my, you need to buy this manual. And when you see this, you're going to go, oh my gosh, that's how that works. Volume, measure, density. If I go to, where did I just see it? 700X. I'm going to come over and I'm going to see, I was right. 1343. Okay. What does that 1343 mean? Well, pretty simple. We want to throw roughly 5 grains of 700. If I take 5 grains and I multiply it by that volume measure density of what did I just say it was? Hang on, I'll redo it twice for you. I haven't done this for a while. One, 3, 4, 3. Okay. I get 0.67. Now, follow. We want roughly 5 grains of 700X. And I'm going to multiply it by 0.1343. And I get 0.67. That would mean if these are produced in cc's, I have a 0.5. What did I say? Hang on. Let me look at this again. Yeah, 0.67. Look at this. I have a 0.5 and I have a 0.7. That 0.7 is 3/10 over what I need. If I take that 0.7 and I dip it, I'm going to be, that's what I use for unique. That's how I know what unique is. 0.1094, I believe. So this is how you do this. You take the volume density measurement and multiply it by what you want, and that tells you which dipper. And you're going to start with the lowest dipper, okay? You see I have a 0.5 and a 0.7. If I multiply 5 times 0.1043, I get 0.67. That's in between these two. We should start low. So if I take a 0.5, if I take a 0.5, this is where reloading gets fun. Okay. I'm going to take this. I have this set for 5.3. But really, hang on, I'm setting this up. Okay. I don't know if you can see that. You see the 5. Now, look in the grain windows. See the grain windows? You see how the 0 is all the way white? That's 5 grains. So now I just put my ball bearing right there, and that's 5 grains. Now, your first rule of thumb, when you're doing dippers, you don't dip and shoot. You have to verify it. What this is going to do, it's going to get us in the ballpark. So I'm going to take my 700X, make sure you got the right powder, and I'm going to dip in. Now, there's a lot of ways you can do this. You can scoop and all this, but I do it this way. Okay. Okay, here we go. .5 is not enough. See that? I'm going to take the 0.7. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Now watch. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, grab my Dillon Determinator, and I'm going to 0 it. And I'm going to let you guys see exactly where we're at. I always feel that I need to be transparent, so you know I'm being honest. Oh boy, 4.7. Yes. Do you guys know what 4.7 is? Didn't we visit that today? 4.7 is 800 and what? The 45 230 grain bullet was developed at 810 feet per second. That is almost a duplicate of that, 4.7. Okay, so I said I want to be in the ballpark of 5 grains. Ballpark. Okay, so we throw our formula in there, right? So now, what if I did this? What if I go ahead and set this for, and I'm going to teach you how to read this. Okay? If you don't have a Lee scale, you got to get a Lee scale. What Reloader 762 says, I ran a lot of dippers in a shed that was too short to stand up in on one side for years. Okay, so I want actually 4.7. I want 4.7. So this is how you're going to set the Lee scale up. For our grains, I have, see my pointer, 4. Let that kind of, see, I'm just past the 4, not quite to the 5. Now look in the 10th of the grain windows. See the 7? 4.7. So now, if I just put my ball bearing on 0, put my pan on there, ta-da! It's like magic. Okay, let's go over this again. And if anyone wants to do just a live stream on just what you saw with just the powder, I got tomorrow off and it's raining. It's no problem. So, in the back of your modern reloading book, you have that's how the Lee Auto Disc capacity charge works. Their discs come in certain sizes. So you got to figure out which disc will charge closest to what you need. Well, aren't these discs or dippers? And so this is the volume measure density. Okay. Powder density. The more dense the powder, the less moving in the case. A finer powder, maybe I got that backwards. It's been a while since I visited this. You got to read up on this. Anyway, you're going to take your volume measure density of whatever powder you're running. Here's Trail Boss. The VMD for Trail Boss is 0.2172. See, that's higher density. It's bigger. Trail Boss, that's a bigger chunk of powder, so it fills the case. So its volume measured density is higher. So it's more of a dense powder, meaning, okay. I don't know if you guys can see this. This is my gun. And this is really how it works. Go in the desert and shoot rabbits and you'll find out. Gun. Rabbit. Boom. But when you, but now think about it. In this position, the powder is sitting on the bullet. This position, boom, the powder is up against the bullet, but kind of sloped downward. Boom. And now your powder is moving all over the case. A charge of bullseye may or may not break your day if it's a minimum charge. Hey.
I'm sorry, what's the port supposed to be at?
205.
Okay, it's 175.
Oh, man, it's going to be good.
Okay.
Yeah. We got a port going. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so what we have is powder density. And we have powder migration. Powder migration is that powder, as you're shooting it, is in different positions. So our burn rate changes in the cartridge. So Trail Boss is a big bulky powder. So from here to here is the same. A compressed load is so accurate, not necessarily because of how it burns, but because you can predict powder position. If you have a compressed load and you're like this, and you pull up like this, that powder is going to be where it was. You can predict where the powder is. But when you're here and you shoot and you recoil, now your powder's in a different spot. Cock, recoil, now it's a little bit more moved, and so it's always different. You can't predict where the powder is going to be. So a volume measure density gives us the ability to go in and measure measure the actual size of the granules or the flakes. Yeah, there is a dipper table. Oh, there's something about the dipper table that you got to know, though. Therefore, the volume measure density gives us an approximation real close to the size of that powder. Okay. So Trail Boss, it's a certain size. So we take that and multiply that size, the physical size, by the charge weight we want, and that gives us the cc volume of the dipper that we should be close to. Okay. Now, Walter said, for a, yeah, that, yes, Walter, you can trim these. You can trim this. But Walter, I think he says there's a chart. There's a kiss of death with the chart. And I'll show you what it is. Here's your chart. So as you see, you have a chart. There's your powders. Okay. So let's go to 700X. 700X is, since I have 700X, well, okay. 700X. 5.2 grains, they're saying, is a 0.7. So if I take a 0.7, I should get 5.2 grains. So let's try it. That's my 0.5. Let me get my 0.7. Well, where's my 0.7? Freaking Walter just took my 0.7. He's laughing. I should have my 0.7. Well, we'll use this 0.7. This is the one that came in my dies. .7. Okay. 4.9. So this is where this comes in. First thing you got to get yourself, and I've been telling you guys this, get your man card. Yes, that's what VMD is, the volume in cc's of 1 grain of powder, okay? There will be a variation based on how you dip, exactly. That's it right there. So here's my 0.7, okay? And I actually have a, let me get something else. Since we're on it. Make sure it's cleaned out. And I get a pretty good amount of powder in it. Okay. And so you have to practice this. Okay. I'm usually best right-handed. .5. .8. 4.8. 4.7. And isn't that what I want for my 230 grain bullet? That's why I said this is the survivalist cookbook, right? When the world goes upside down and you're stuck in the corner of a world with minimal equipment, you can function. See? But what you would have to do is actually do this. In the day, this was how we did it, okay? It wasn't the only way we did it, but this was the way that everyone introduced me to, right? So you do have a chart, but you have to practice your technique. Okay. So now, okay, kind of regrouping here. I got to put my man card back because Walter will take that. Not that he already has a man card, but he's like, hi boy, give me the man card, right? So anyway, I love you, brother. I do. So now, what we do is here's the case that I primed and I belled. And I should have a funnel on that, which I do, I just don't have it out. So now what I would do, logically, is sit here and charge all my cases. And I would put all those cases in a load block. Or 2 load blocks. Maybe you got 100 cases. So you're going to have these load blocks, and you're going to have all these cases in them. Okay. I didn't know we'd go this far. I would have been a little better prepared. So you could sit there and do a whole bunch of these. So you could put your sizing die in, size all your cases. Then you put this in and expand it. And you would come over here and prime. Then you'd come over and expand and charge. Okay. And you would also tighten this down so your die doesn't move, but that's okay. I'm not going to leave it in there. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to seat a bullet. Now, that's where the mark comes in. My hash mark, my veneer mark, whatever you want to call it. We no longer need this. I'm going to take a case that I've sized, and I don't have one that's sized. So what I can do real quick is come back here, set my size die up, size myself a case real quick, pull that die, and now put this die back in. And now I'm going to set this die up. Going to run it all the way down. Till I touch the case. Now I'm going to back it off. And then put my breech lock in, or I can't quite get this screw. Yeah, goodness. So I'm going to tighten my breech lock on that. And now what I can do, I take the case that I've got charged, place it onto there like that. I'm going to take my bullet, going to adjust. I'm having technical difficulties here, guys. Give me just a sec. I should have put this breech lock in here the right way. So I'm going to tighten the breech lock, and now that die won't move. Let me get you down here a little closer. So now I'm going to put my cartridge case back in that's charged. I'm going to raise the seat stem up a little bit, and now I'm going to come over with sheer precision, and I'm going to seat that. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a measurement of this. I have roughly 53 thousandths to go. So if I'm going to go a quarter turn. Got 22. So another quarter turn more. So I'm watching that hash mark that I have on my die. I'm 4 thousandths. Perfect. Now, This one, I go, some books call for 1.260, other books call for 1.270. We can go kind of in the middle. That's pretty good, about 4 thousandths under 1.270. That's going to be a nice round. So now I can go ahead and remove this die. And oh, okay, leaf factory crimp. Pull your stem out. Let's go ahead and we'll ditch this. So I'm going to talk about what Michael Dunn said in just a second. So we're going to run this all the way down. Till we touch the shell plate. Okay. We're going to put our cartridge in, and oh wait, I want to do something. I'm sorry. I want to go ahead and lock my breech lock out. Now I'm going to put the cartridge in there like that. I'm going to bring my seat stem up. Now that I'm all the way down, that's sizing. That's sizing all the way down. That's resizing that case. Okay. Now I'm going to come down till I touch that bullet. Now we can go a half for a light crimp or a whole for a large. Okay. Now listen to me. All you need is enough crimp that the bullet won't move. So what you're going to do is you're going to come up and do a half a crimp and crimp it. And you're going to do a magazine full. And then do a magazine full with one crimp. Now go out and see which ones are more accurate. The one with the half, the one with the full, okay? It's not going to be the same on all pistols. This would be a pet load for any particular pistol you have because they're going to feed different with different feed ramps from the mag to the chamber going up past that ramp. One pistol might require a heavy crimp, the next one not as heavy. So for the pistol you're shooting for, you will make the crimp match the accuracy to the pistol. That's how you are forming this for one pistol. If you want this to go through all pistols, put the heavy crimp and it'll perform through all of them. The nice thing about the Leaf Factory crimp is you can even go a little more than this and you won't buckle the case. It just digs into the bullet more. Okay? But you can make the crimp match your pistol. And that's how you're going to, and I way over crimped it. I mean, I way, it's too much. You guys saw, I was just showing you. It's way too much crimp. Okay? Make the crimp fit your pistol. And so that's how now. And so now, okay, we're set up. Let's talk about what Michael Dunn said. So the bit about the dippers, um, that's great for someone starting out. It's a little subpar for sheer accuracy unless you want to trickle it up, and it is subpar for speed. Okay. Well, what we can do, I apologize, guys. I'm kind of tight quarters here. Hang on, I got to come around my camcorder. Can we not do this? Right? Okay. And then there's something else we can do. Just go with me on this, okay? See that black line? When I turn it like that, now it won't dispense powder, I think. Yeah. Okay. I've got it shut off. Okay. Now watch this. Now follow. I'm going to show you how to charge this with your dippers. I'm going to show you how to get this dialed in with a Lee dipper. You see our cavity? See how I can adjust it for more powder or less powder? There's less for a min charge. Now watch. I can open this up. my 0.7 cc. It's overflowing a little bit. Okay, I'll empty it out. I'll back it off a little more. Oh, duh. It won't work. Duh, duh, duh. That's okay, though. I think you guys get what I'm getting at here. Yeah, you guys are all laughing. Hi, boy, it won't clear the handle. What I'm getting at is what he's saying is just use a powder measure or a dispenser. With the Lee auto drum, you could get that and just set that up on a simple single stage press. Then as you see inside of the cavity, I filled that to the 0.7. And if you really get that down pretty consistent to where you're just, like, say, 0.2 grains low or 0.2 grains high, that's going to get you in the ballpark. So for a survival situation, you could actually set this up and charge cases. It would work, okay? So I don't recommend that. I would always say you want to be able to verify what you're charging on a scale, okay? So there we go. There we go. That's pretty much my live stream, except now what we can do is where did I just put that? Now all my dies are set. I can put them in there, and if I want to, run back through the whole program, now I can sit there and resize 50 cases, 100 cases, however many you want. Then you're going to pull this die out, and then you're just, this one would have the original breech lock in there. You would just plug that into there, and every time you pulled that handle down, you would manually charge it, fill your load block. After that, then you'd bring your seat die in, and after that you'd bring your crimp die, without forgetting that we had the prime in between there. So this press will actually work for the whole process. But the cool thing is it's all set up for precision. So if you're wanting to get into precision rifle, precision handgun, and if you want to think about precision, think about it this way. Don't think of what kind of shot group you're after. I'm gonna pull my chair up. I'm gonna have to wind this down pretty quick. With your precision, don't think of like what kind of shot group you're gonna try and make. Don't try and do that. Go out and chronograph your loads. See what kind of a spread you're getting from your highs to your lows. See how tight you can pull your velocities in. That's what's going to build in to your precision. Your shot groups are going to be dependent on you, on you. Okay. So when you're thinking of precision, okay, here's the thing. If you are after precision and you're putting it on paper, you're going to frustrate yourself. You don't, you need a point of reference. And I say numbers don't lie. So you're going to start loading whatever it is, whether it's rifle or handgun. You're going to start chronographing your loads, okay? And bench it. Bench rest it for shot groups. Shot groups have a lot to say about velocities, okay? Get your spread as tight as you can get it. That's your precision. Your shot groups are up to you. Okay. I hope that makes sense. So, was that a good live stream? It's kind of hard to do a live stream like this because there's a my lighting isn't the best. I've only got so much space focusing the camera, but I hope it's good information. We got DW37 in the house. So I hope this is good information, but I would say if I don't care what kind of a setup you have, what brand you're running, whether it's a single stage turret or progressive, this is a definite benefit to any reloader for whatever setup you got. As a matter of fact, if you're running a progressive press, now I would never be without this. And that's what Walter said today. He said that and it blew my mind because he said what I was thinking is now that I've had this, I wouldn't want to sit there and go the way I used to go of decapping my cases when I can bust a load out big time with this. So this makes a lot of sense. So thank you, Motor 953, Michael Dunn. Hey, Del Pogue, have fun at the range. Thank you, Ron Moore. So there you go. So this, I felt this, there was good information. I might come out here and fool around with some 45 tomorrow, just in this. I need to polish up on the Lee volume density measurement, the VMD. So I might do that tomorrow. So if you guys want, I don't know what time it would be. I might strike a live stream up and just kind of walk through this process again. Maybe use a different bullet, and so follow along. Okay, I might do that tomorrow. I'm sure Walter has, as long as he's had his, I'm sure he's done a ton of stuff. So I think this is really cool. This is a one where, like, if I wanted to sit and load up some ammo on this, this would be a good quiet time one. Just sitting there tinkering. I like to tinker. I don't get tired of that. And so I think this would be a lot of fun. I really do. So could you guys imagine doing some 30-30 on this? It would be great. Some 30-06, 300 PRC. I haven't told you guys how my progress on that's going. Stay tuned. I might be doing some PRC on this just to be playing around with that too. So there we go. All right, guys. I want to thank everyone. I'm going to go in and see if our pork roast is done. It's got to be getting really close. It's a pork loin, but it should turn out really good. I think that 30-06 should fit. I think that 300 PRC should fit. I'll make it fit. um, I think it should. Um, I don't see why not. All right. I'm going to call you all out. You guys have been really great. And I know, you know, sometimes my live streams can get confusing because there's just a lot going on. I never want to waste anyone's time. And sometimes I get so focused, I make little mistakes, but it's okay. It's all good anyway. Come on over for some pork loin. We'll feed you. You know that, Walter. Okay, so I want everybody to tell me if you had the Lee APP, what would you do with it most? Would you use it for decapping? Would you use it for bullet sizing? Or reloading? Or swaging? Right? What would you do most with this if you had it? Okay, I know what it is for me. It's decapping and bullet sizing, both those. Probably more decapping, without a doubt. More decapping for me. Okay, so BWR Hunter, you're so awesome. So Viejo says decap and sizing equally. Yeah, I can see that totally. Because for every case that you have to resize, you would have to size a bullet for that too, right? 47 Cavalier says decap and resize. Jer Bear, decap and swaging. That's what I mean, swaging when I'm saying resize. I'm meaning sizing my bullets. Hey, you have a good one, Uncle Milty. It's good to see you. I've been missing you, buddy. Michael Dunn, he's doing prep work. Decapping, yes. Decapping and sizing. Reloader 762. Yeah, I would have figured that with you, buddy. A million bullets to size. Sizing and decapping for Ron. Lee says decap. Christy says sizing. Shooter 59 says decapping. PWR Hunter says, oh, he got here late. You'll have to watch this over, buddy. You'll have to watch it over. It's a great machine. So there we go. And Dwayne, he says decapping. All right. So you guys tell me, I don't want to wear no one out. If you want, I'm going to come out here tomorrow. I'm going to play with this some more. And I wouldn't mind playing around with the Lee dippers. I don't want to waste no one's time. Anyone up for that? I don't know. I really don't know how early or what time, but I might do it tomorrow. So you let me know. And Walter, if you want to be on, that would be awesome with your APP. I think that would be really cool if we could get a couple APPs on here, and then you could share kind of what you do, go back and forth with it, and then that way, if you're on here, you can stop me from putting a powder measure where the handle's going to hit it, you know. Okay. Um, Christy Sisler says sure. Much love to you, brother. Thank you, Scott. I'll tell him Miss Hi for you. She always appreciates that. Um, think about that, Walter. Yeah, okay. You let me know what time, and we'll do that. Like, I'm pretty humbled. So, um, All right, guys. So we got a pork loin. I got some Pat's hot dust on it. We got some pineapple juice, and it's been wrapped, and so I can smell it, and it's happening. So here we go. We will see you guys on the next. Hey, if Jer Bear you can be on, you can be on too. That will be really cool. It is a great alternative, buddy. It's a very good alternative. Okay, here we go. We are out in 3, 2, 1. We'll see you guys on the next.